So far, we've looked at our needs and we've looked at ourselves both inwardly and outwardly to see what our attributes are and how best they might be enhanced. So, what can we do next to bring about action? Well, for me, that next step is really properly planning. The first step in that is to kind of set ourselves some objectives and goals. So, go through all the work we've done so far and have a look and see if there's patterns emerging of things that keep cropping up that you really want to pursue. See how you can create an objective or a goal out of that. Are there other things that you've had on a to-do list for a long, long time, such as learning a musical instrument or perhaps learning a foreign language? For me, for a very long time, I'd always wanted to make my own guitar. My wife actually got in touch with a local luthier when we lived on the south coast, a guy called David Whiteman, and he taught me how to build a guitar. Although when I got there, I decided not to go for a guitar. I built a mandolin, much smaller than a guitar, and I don't know how to play one, so there was another strange barrier to it. But it taught me a lot of skills about how to create something from wood and how the tones can be changed by the choice of woods and the way you create the guitar. David Whiteman is a very, very talented luthier and maker of classical guitars. If you ever fancy having a go, get in touch with him. He has the patience of saints. Once you have your objective list or goals list together, start looking at ways to prioritize it. The way I do this is I start to break things down into different goals that can be achieved over different periods of time. My objective list I look on as a living document. Things might come into it, things might go out of it as my interests change over time. Then I will break down things on a monthly basis. I will create what I call my monthly to-do list. So let's look at the monthly to-do list in a little more detail. The layout for this involves two columns. The left-hand column lists out the goal or objective, and the right-hand column attempts to list out the tasks that go into achieving it. Don't worry if you don't know all of the tasks, as some of these might emerge as you work through other tasks. Again, this is a living document, so it can be edited, added to, and deleted from as the month progresses and your priorities change. Once I have a to-do list together, I need to go about transforming that into day-to-day action. And I do this with my today list, a list of things that I want to achieve in any given day. You can approach your today list in a few ways. You can do this from day to day, which allows you to get a feel for what you'd like to be doing on any given day. But I find this runs the risk of putting off difficult or boring tasks to later and can affect your motivation and productivity when you've not achieved those difficult or boring tasks due to them being constantly put to the back of the queue. You can attempt to map out the whole month when creating the monthly to-do list as a series of to-day lists. If you do choose this route, it can become difficult to manage should tasks run over from one to-do list to the next. My favoured method is to create a set of to-do lists for each week and manage them each morning by reviewing the previous day and seeing what the knock-on effects are for each subsequent day. The to-do list takes the task from the monthly to-do list and sets out each one you intend to achieve. These are put into the left-hand column. The middle column attempts to break down each task with a little more granularity, so you can see more of what's involved and apportion time to each task in the right-hand column. It's important to get a guesstimate of what time is involved, so you do not overload your day. Remember to add things to your to-do list that you might want to do every day. So you might want a meditation session in the morning, or perhaps some yoga, or perhaps in the evening you want to have some time rostered in to spend some time with your family. That could be the whole of the evening. You might want to play board games or watch a movie together. Don't forego time with your family or friends via social networks like Skype or Zoom. in order to get everything done on your to-do list that might not have been done during work hours. Everything can slot into the next day. Remember, these are living lists. They're editable. You can delete from them. You can add to them. In our next video, we'll talk about what tools are available to us to help us achieve our goals. I'll see you there.